Was it created by somebody who does have thoughts like this and like beliefs like this and has created it with the creation of the egregore and with the patronage in mind? Or is this something that has been like spiritually co-opted? Hi, my name is Mariana, and I would like to welcome you to my channel where I sit in my cat-infested living room and talk about more or less spiritual or spiritually witchy adjacent things that currently interest me. And today I would like to throw back to last week's video, which was about servitors and thought forms, and talk a little bit about like my own personal view of spirits in the world and like the spirit model, and maybe get into my own views, like second page of Google thing views that might not be very mainstream in like the witchy community, of course, but things that make sense to me and make sense to the way that I see the world and how I interact with the world generally. If you don't know about me and what I do, I am a Mariana. I am a creator of a series of botanical oracle cards, which I illustrate and curate and create with the thought that plants are spirits and plants are people, and by learning about plants, we can foster and create relationships with these spirits, be it archetypal of like the whole plant as a species, as well as plants as individuals. What I mean is there is the monstera as an archetype, like as the species, which is a spirit, like you can call on the monstera spirit, but then also my individual plants are individuals and they have their own little quirks, and I have a like special relationship with each of these plants. So this is my personal perspective from which these cards are created, and the worldview that shapes my creation and my creativity. And on that note, I would like to talk to you a little bit more about like how to, not necessarily in this video, work with spirits, but how you can view the world as full of spirits in the great way and like in the most positive way, and in a way that is not and in a way that might not be like on the first view positive, but like second page of Google, I believe it's how it is. So I will tell you about it. I believe that living things have a spirit from like, I don't want to say God-given, but like from above, from the creator, which whatever grand design thing word you want to use. I believe that living things have a spirit. There is a spirit of the individual, like me, my soul, and there is like the spirit of the collective, like the archetypal. So there is like the current zeitgeist of humanity, like the human archetype. There is my cats. Each of them is an individual. Each of them has a little soul. But there's also the archetypal spirit of cat, you know, that egregore, which is one of the words we will be using today, and I will get to that as well. The egregore of cat. And then you have house cat, and you have wild cats, and you have tigers, and all of the little things. Those are spirits on their own. I also believe that created things have spirit. Like human created, man-made things do have spirits. It can be as easy as this cup having a little spirit of its own, as well as vessels and cups having an archetypal spirit as well. You can have a relationship with your items, especially if these items are for ritual purposes. But then also there is statues and icons and items that are actually made to represent either a living thing or a being. Like I will show you my Marisol. This is a porcelain statue. I call her Marisol, and I fully believe that Marisol is a being that is this statue, that is like the little soul of the statue. Did I create Marisol? Maybe. I'm leaving her here. Did I create the spirit of Marisol? Maybe, but also maybe I just named the spirit that was already in the statue that I bought. Is it a situation of was there first an egg or the hen? I don't know, but to me, this is Marisol. She has a personality. I believe she had a personality when I bought her. I just named her, and now we live together for a few years. The same thing with little statues and effigies and whatever you buy. I do believe that these items have a little spirit of their own, which can be fostered and nurtured and grown into something more than just an inkling of a soul. That's on like the basic. Everything has a spirit. But there is also created things that are not items that I also believe have a spirit. It's clubs, groups of people, communities, gatherings. They have a spirit, an egregore of the thoughts and feelings of the people within these groups and within these communities. And these egregores, I believe they are created or they manifest naturally. They like become once a group of people starts doing same things or like thinking in the same way. That egregore manifests and either can be left as is because those people don't believe in or don't know that this spirit exists, or this egregore can be fostered and can be worked on consciously by that group, and a culture and an energy of that group can be nurtured into existence and built into something that we imagine it should be. And on that note, I also believe that companies and firms and businesses have that same kind of spirit. Either it is created just because there is a lot of people working on one thing, or because the person who owns that company builds that egregore, either again knowingly or unknowingly. I believe that a lot of witchy companies and witchy small businesses do have egregores, and I would like to believe that a lot of these egregores are created with care and with love and are meant to represent that company and that person in like the best way. Do you have a guardian spirit for your business that takes care of you and brings you the right people who are interested in what you do, and the people who are in need of what you do as well? And I think that's all well and great. If we think about the fact that we live in a world full of spirits, what does it mean? For me who believes this, for you who maybe thinks this makes sense, or for you who thinks I'm completely bonkers and this really should be on the second page of Google where nobody will ever find it. In the last video, I spoke about people who set on their way to create something they call tulpa, something I think should just be called a thought form or a servitor, but generally a thought form, because those spirits are not meant to, have a service or a purpose. They're just meant there to be whatever. If you take this a little bit further and realize or start to believe that if you can create an entity, a thought form from nothing, and you have things that have spirits of their own already because they are things, they exist in this world, and like everything has some sort of energy, some sort of spirit, then you can, like, it's not that big of a stretch to think that you can like nurture the spirit and make it grow and make it stronger and make it have more energy and more knowledge and more everything. So you have this cup. This cup has some sort of spirit, probably not very conscious, but just like a little soul that is there, that exists. I could give this cup like a lot of thought, a lot of energy. I could think about its spirit and give the spirit more personality, more energy, little quirks, little characteristics, and I could actually like make this into an entity of its own if I really wanted, by like the sheer strength of my will. You can do so with everything. I probably have done it with Marisol here. And if you like take this like at its core, at its basic, then you also could think about deity and spirits and demons from like lore and history and like occult books, and believe that the more believe that the more worshippers or work like people they work with they have, the more power and the more strength that deity has. You can at the same time as well think that the more people that are working with the deity, the more divided that maybe greater power is. So you know, so you could then like find something really obscure like a deity or a spirit that nobody has ever thought about, and like adopt them, help them, like give them energy, give them sacrifices, offerings, whatnot, and like make them stronger, and then be the only one that they are focused on. But then also, like this is an aside for you to think about, agree or disagree with me. But then as it's my tradition of talking on the intersection between like the esoteric and occult and like real life, if you take all of this, like these unconnected thoughts, and apply them to like big companies, McD's, oil companies, Unilever, whatnots. And this is like verging on conspiracy. But the bigger the company is, the bigger its egregore and spirit, the more people it is in front of, the more people think about them, the more people, know about them, the more powerful that egregore is, and the more powerful and the more huge that company gets. And we are like at a point in history where most of the market and commerce is being monopolized by just a couple companies, and those egregores are being fed every day, every minute. I just did by naming just a few. I just gave them a little snippet of my energy. But like another thing, like another snippet of disconnected thought that I want to give you, that I don't really want to explore in this particular video further, is the idea of like patrons and patron deities. And as much as you can have a patron deity, or I can have a patron spirit, or anybody else, I also do believe, and that's the third page of Google now, I also believe that companies and egregores can have those patron spirits that do work on, growing that egregore and making themselves stronger. And I do believe that also this part of like the food chain of spirits is usually the domain of not spirits we would call deities, if you know what I mean. I don't mean demons. I don't mean demons, but like generally spirits that are not generally considered divinities, because divinities I don't believe they have that much of a need to create like sources of energy and sources of food as other spirits or other egregores would do. And this is fourth page of Google, okay? There is like the question that I don't know the answer to, and I like to toy you with it a little bit, is you imagine some sort of super successful global company, and you're like somebody is like the founder of it. Was it created by somebody who does have thoughts like this and like beliefs like this, and has created it with the creation of the egregore and with the patronage in mind, or is this something that has been like spiritually co-opted, and the people involved on the highest levels have no idea about this? Is it, or is it not? I don't know, but it's of great interest to me. The question of, is it just us, like the normal people, like the middle class normies that are into like magic and occultism? But I don't think so, because like magic and occultism in history was the domain of rich, usually white, privileged men. So is it that much of a stretch to think that the same rich, privileged white men that are the founders and board members of like Fortune 500 companies have no idea about all of this stuff, and have no idea about energy work and egregores and spirits, and how to grow the company not only on like the material side and like the, hey, on this earth side, but also on the spiritual level. And there is also this saying that like the billionaires have their own astrologers. So I kind of do believe that the richest and whitest and most privileged of people and men do have the knowledge and the means to do all of this on purpose, you know? What I want to say to you as like a witchy person to another witchy person, if they can do it, I can, you can. You can foster a spirit of your own creation. And I mean in both ways. A spirit of creating, but also a spirit and egregore of what you create. And nurture it and make it a good one, you know, make it one that has a place in this earth, and make it one that has a place in the community, has a helpful place in the community, you know, that is not only about holding money and like growing and being greedy and being like insatiable, because that's what these other ones are. Make it one that fosters community and that finds the right people that it can help, you know. Make it one that wants to create something of value to people and not something of value to itself. There is like a huge difference. And yeah, I guess that's my message. That's my message for today. If they can do it, you can do it too, and you can do it better. Because you can do it with empathy and with community in mind, and with reciprocity and with balance. And if you are like me and are of like the witchy, spiritual, occult, esoteric inclination, and do create anything, you don't even have to have a business, but if you are in the business of creation, be it of whatever, even for yourself. We all create something, even if it's creating a clean home, you know, creating a nice meal, creating in the broadest sense of things, just taking something and transforming it into something else. If you are doing that and you want to create a spirit for that creation, do it, and do it with the intention and with the balance of give and take in mind, and for you as well. I'm not sure if I made any sense. If you have made it this far in my rambling through the obscure pages of Google, I don't want to call it conspiracy theories, but are they? I don't know. But they certainly are like obscure pages of Google searches. Then thank you for getting this far with me. As you might know, I treat my comment sections as little forums, so please feel free to write anything and everything that comes to your mind in regards to this. And thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your input. I appreciate the community we are creating here together, and the discussions that might arise from this. I'm open. I'm always open to like discuss obscure things with you or with anybody. So just let me know your thoughts, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.